welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody's having a great day, a great week, and a great month. I am super excited to give you guys this tutorial today. Today we're going to be making these super cute leg warmers, and I'm using my 4.25mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and I have two colors of yarn here. You can use one, you can use two, you can use three, or however many you want. This is how it's going to look after we're done. I've made one so far. Now I'm gonna make the matching set to this one. Guys, you have no idea how long I've been trying to figure this pattern out. I originally tried this pattern maybe 2 years ago when I very first started crochet. Well, I tried to do like the footing of the leg warmer and I sucked. I completely sucked. I didn't know how to do it and I just gave up on it. And today, instead of following a YouTube video on how to do it, I just did it on my own without watching anything, and I'm actually pretty proud of the results. It is kind of like a one size fits two sizes, if that makes sense. So I do wear a size 8, so this is a size 8 going into a size 9. Maybe even a size 7 can fit it. I'm not sure if it might be a little too baggy, but yes. So this pattern is also adjustable. If you want to make it smaller or bigger, just add more half double crochets in the beginning. But we're going to start at the bottom of the foot, and I'm going to do a slip knot by putting the edge of the yarn in the palm of my hand, wrapping it around 2 fingers, putting my hook through that little loop and pulling the yarn through and pulling both ends tightly. And I'm gonna make that hole a little smaller, a lot smaller, and we're gonna start with 10 stitches. So I'm gonna yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10. Go into that 9th stitch, which is here, and I'm going to do a half double crochet into that 9th stitch. So we're going to yarn over, go through that 9th stitch on the left side of that braid, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And we're going to do that all the way down until we get to that very first stitch again. So we're going to yarn over, go through that stitch, yarn over, pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3, yarn over, go through, yarn over, through, yarn over, pull through all 3. And you're going to continue that. The yarn is also a size 4 that I'm using. Okay, so I know it looks kind of small, but this is like directly the bottom of my foot that I measured. So that's how I got only 10 stitches going down. So now we're going to stitch 2. And we are going to do 13 more rows of the half double crochet. And you're also going to turn your work over after that, stitching 2, and you're going to yarn over, go through both loops, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Please let me know what other tutorials you guys want to see as well. I'm definitely trying to get a whole bunch of more content and tutorials out. The next one will probably be like a chunky purse tutorial. And I also have some pillows that I'm making as well that I'm super excited about. So we're also going to put that out too. And yeah. Okay, so don't forget, after every row you're going to stitch 2, turn your work over, and continue until you get to 14 rows total of that half double crochet. Okay, so I'm almost done with the 14th row. And now that I am done, I'm not going to stitch 2. I'm just going to stitch 1, and we're going to start doing single crochets all the way around. And we're going to do 1 decrease on each side. So 1 decrease on this side, 1 decrease here, 1 here, and 1 here. So we're just going in with the regular single crochets. And to do that, we're going to go in the stitch, yarn over. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. Go into the stitch, yarn over, go through both. One more time, go through the stitch, yarn over, pull through both. And it doesn't matter where you want to do your decrease, just make sure it is, I try to make them even, kind of, and I'm going to start it here. So our first decrease, I'm putting it in the middle, and I'm going in that stitch, yarning over, pull through. We have 2 loops on our hook. I'm going to go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. Now I have 3 loops on my hook, and I'm going to yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And now I'm going to continue with the regular single crochet again. And if you can see, there's not really any specific loops that you can go through, so I'm really just picking a spot that seems pretty stable and doing this single crochet stitch. Now I'm going to do my second decrease, going through the stitch, yarning over, pulling through, going into the next stitch, yarning over, pulling through, and pulling through all 3 loops with the yarn over, and back to the single crochet. So we've done 2 decreases so far. We have 2 more to go because we have 2 sides left. I'm so sorry if my tutorials are seeming kind of detailed but also super quick. Y'all, I be running out of storage on my phone, okay? I'm still saving for the camera. Well, actually, I have a S33 camera, but I don't know if it records. I just got it yesterday and it's dead. Like, I just bought the charger is coming today, so I'm kind of just waiting to see how it actually works and take pictures. Hopefully it makes videos too, because that will make this so easier. Okay, so now we're gonna do our 3rd decrease, and we are going in, yarning over, going into the next stitch, yarning over. I'm sorry, you're just going into the next stitch and pulling through, yeah. Okay, and now we're continuing with the rest of the single crochets, and then we have 1 more decrease to go. But yes, hopefully my tutorials are actually helping you guys. And as you can see, it's kind of starting to curve upward to look more like a sock or a shoe. and which is freaking perfect. So now we're gonna do our last decrease. And on the corner here is where I originally started the single crochets. So I'm gonna go into that very first single crochet, yarning over, pulling through, and pulling through that stitch as well. So that was row 15. Okay, so now we're going to be starting row 16, and I still have my slip stitch here, and I'm going to stitch 2 since we're starting a new row with the half double crochets. And I'm not going to go into that first stitch right there that's kind of already connected to the extra stitch 2. I'm going to go into the next stitch with the half double crochets, and we are going to do half double crochets all the way around, still doing that 1 decrease on each side. Okay, and I'm gonna do my decrease here. I try not to do the decreases on top of each other if they are on every row, so I'm gonna do it here since that other one was kind of in the middle. And it's kind of really the same thing with the single crochet decrease, but I'm sorry, not really. So we're gonna yarn over, go through the stitch, yarn over, you have 3 loops on your hook, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, you have 4 loops on your hook, and now we're gonna yarn over and pull through all 4, sorry, and continue on with your half double crochets. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same here, yarning over, going through the stitch, 3 loops on the hook, going through the next stitch, 4 loops on your hook, yarning over, pulling through all 4, and continuing until we get to the next. Now we're going to do another one. I'm actually going to take a few out to do it closer. And you're going to do the same pattern for rows 16 through 18. Half double crochet with 4 decreases in total for the row, 1 decrease on each side. And here's my last decrease for this row. And as you can see, this is where I started the half double crochets, and this is my very first stitch 2 at the beginning. I'm not going to attach my yarn in that extra stitch 2. I'm going to count from that 1, 2, and go into the top of the very first half double crochet. I'm doing a slip stitch, and now we're going to continue with row 17, and we're also doing the same thing for row 18. Okay, so we're going to be starting row 19, and we're going to stitch the extra 2 like normal, And the only thing different about this row is that we're going to add 2 extra decreases. So we're going to do 2 decreases on the long sides, 1 decrease for both short sides, and then 2 decreases for the other long side as well. And as you can see, we have a little boat going on right now. It's forming into our foot. And I'm going to start one of my decreases right here, and I'm probably going to do the other one closer to the end of the row. Start it here for the decrease. Our 1 decrease for the short side. Our first decrease for the long side on here, and then I'll do the second one closer to the end. And for row 20, it's going to be the same thing with 6 decreases in total, but we are going to switch it back to single crochets. Okay, so I'm going to do my slip stitch into that first half double crochet. I'm gonna stitch only 1 extra because we're starting our single crochets, and still following that same decrease pattern but doing single crochets instead. Going through, yarning over, going through the next stitch, yarning over, pull through all through loops. Gonna do it again. And here you can kind of see this is where your leg warmer will start to get a little tighter and smaller so that it can only fit your leg and not your entire foot anymore. Gonna do one here. And you can also try it on if you are making it for yourself, and you can see how it's fitting if you like it. It does get tighter around the foot area once you finish, so don't worry if it is a little baggy. I did make these to fit 2 sizes for each pair, so second one for there. I'm gonna go back 1 because this will be our last decrease. It is kind of hard to see where you started versus where you finished with the single crochet rows, unless you want to add a stitch marker like I'm about to do right now. I'm just cutting off a piece of pink yarn so that I know where I started, which is here, I think. Okay, and then I'm gonna do one more here in our slip knot. Okay, row 21, we are going to stitch 1 again, and every 5 stitches we're going to decrease 1. So right now we're just working on decreasing to get this hole smaller. So every 5 stitches we will decrease 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to go in with our decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going in with our decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to slip stitch. And now for the 22nd row, we're gonna do every 4 stitches. We'll be doing a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4. Decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4. Decrease. 1, 2, 3. Oops. 4. Decrease. Decrease. 2, 3. Okay, so now we're going to do our slip stitch. Stitch 1. And as you can see, we have our little foot part going on. It doesn't look exactly like a foot, but it kind of does, okay? This is the best foot that I could design, okay, y'all? To get an easy pattern, okay? It fits perfectly once you put it on, I promise. So after a slip stitch, I'm gonna stitch 2 extra because we'll be starting row 23, which is where the actual pattern starts. And from here on out, we will not be going into that very first stitch. We'll be going into the one after it because the first one seems like it's still attached to where we did that extra stitch to. So we'll be doing double crochets for the rest of the piece. And we will be yarning over, going into that stitch, yarn over, pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook and you're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Going to stitch 1 and we're going to do another double crochet in that same exact stitch. So we're yarning over, going through the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now we're going to stitch 2. We're going to, what the heck? Okay, we're going to skip the very next stitch and we're going to go into the one after that with the double crochet, yarning over, going through that stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Stitch 1, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through the loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're also going to do 2 decreases on this row, and after that there will be no more decreases. So we're going to stitch our extra 2, skip that one at the bottom, and I'm going to do the first decrease here. Okay, yarn over, go through that stitch, go through the next stitch as well, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 3, since you do have an extra one. And I'm gonna do a stitch 1, yarn over, go through that loop, and I'm going through the last one, not the first one where we started the decrease. So yarn over, go through 2, 2, 2 stitches, and now we're gonna continue by skipping that next stitch with our decreases. Skipping that stitch at the bottom, going through 2 loops, stitch 1. It's kind of like a half double crochet, but you're kind of doing just an additional yarn over. Stitching our extra 2, skipping that stitch at the bottom, stitching 1, yarn over, go through that same stitch, stitch 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now I'm going to do another decrease. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over. Another double crochet in that same stitch, stitching 2, and continuing our pattern. Stitching 2, and now we're going to do our last one. Stitching 2, and going into that very first double crochet with a slip stitch. But before I finish my slip stitch, I'm also going to add my next color of yarn. I have the other color in the palm of my hand, and I'm just going to pull that yarn through both loops and continue the same pattern. So since we'll be going on top of that row now, still be the same thing, just a little slightly different. We're yarning over, going through the middle of the V with the double crochet, stitching 1, going through the middle again, double crochet, and then stitching 2. Going through the middle of that stitch. You don't have to necessarily go into the top of the stitch, you can just go right under it because it gives it that double layered effect. And we're going in with the double crochet, stitch 1, double crochet, stitch 2. And since I do still have my burgundy yarn attached, I'm just crocheting right over it. Stitch 1, and we're just going right into the center of that V where we stitch that additional 1. And if you don't stitch that additional 1, you will be able to see it. And as you can see, this is how our pattern is looking so far. Super cute. Okay, so now I'm ending my pink row, and I've done my 2 extra stitches, and I'm going to slip stitch into the very first double crochet with the pink. And instead of using my pink, actually, yes, I will use a pink yarn. And now that I have 2 loops on my hook, I'm going to go in with my other color to pull the yarn through and stitch an extra 2. Okay, so now I have the colors switched, and I'm going to continue my double crochet pattern. So we started the double crochet pattern on row 24. You can really do it for however long you want your leg warmers to be, but I wanted the length to stop right under my knee. So I did it for 10 rows in total, 24 to 34. And I will see you guys when I am closer to being done. I did 12 rows of the double crochet pattern, and I'm at the end of my 12th row. And I'm gonna go ahead and slip stitch. And for our last row, I think this is row 37 in total, we're going to do single crochets all the way around. So I'm gonna stitch 1, go into that next loop and do single crochets. It's raining outside. If you guys can hear it, it sounds so freaking peaceful. Okay, so we're coming up on where we very first started doing the single crochets, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do a slip stitch, and then I'm gonna cut off that extra yarn, and then I'm gonna yarn over, pull through completely, pull it tightly, and I'm going to hide that extra string of yarn. And cut that as well. So now we are done with our legging, and I'm sorry, leg warmer. And now we're gonna work on the strap to put right here. So I'm just gonna do a regular slip knot, pulling the yarn through 2 fingers. And we are going to stitch 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I think that was 80. I'm not sure. This is actually 70, but I'm definitely not gonna recount it. But I did try doing 70 stitches on my first leg warmer, and it was cute, but I feel like it would have been cuter if it was longer, just a little longer. So that's why I suggested 80 stitches, but yes. So afterwards, you're just gonna cut that extra yarn off, pull that yarn through tightly, and now we are going to work on attaching this to the leg warmer. I don't know why I keep saying legging. Okay, so whichever side you decide that you want to put the put the front of the bow on, I'm gonna say that this will be like the front of the foot. So I'm gonna start by putting it in the back, and I'm just gonna go right under that single crochet, right on top of the double crochets, and pulling my string through. And I'm just gonna do like maybe every other stitch. So like I did one there, so I'm just gonna skip that one, go into this one, pull that yarn through, I kind of want all of them to be facing outward. I'm just gonna pull it towards the back. Okay, so I've pulled both of my strings towards the front, and then I'm gonna tie them in a little cute bow once I put them on. And you guys, we are finished with our leg warmers. Here's my other one. They are so cute, and now we're gonna try them on. On my toes, as they're not done, tightening it by the string. I actually freaking love them. Like, what the freak? Ah, yes, honey. Okay. This is her. support your girl if you don't feel like making these on your own on my online shop. And I will see you guys on the next video.